Even the then lesser boss Tyson had his eye on him. One night, after a performance in a St. Paul Street party, Rebel was introduced to Tyson, and seeing the potential, he chose to bring Rebel under his wing and invest in him. And with that strong backing, Rebel 6 ascended to Trinidad royalty, taking Tyson's name with him. But with more fame brings more power, and more power brings more enemies.
Wagwan, you don't know it's about the Prodigy, and welcome back to the Prodigy ENT. So now to the reaction video, people. We not react to no music video today. You see me I say? We'll do something a little bit different. You see me I say? Hood geography. Hood, wipe on the hood. Hood geography. Him do this rise of Trinidad 6 leader, Tyson 6 boss. If everybody in Trinidad know who Tyson 6 boss is, if you don't know who Tyson 6 boss is, watch that video, yeah, because it's going to tell you who Tyson 6 boss is. And we are going to react to it and hear what the dog have to say, see how much information the dog have, see how much facts the dog have. You see me I say, the dog the one from Prezi too. You see me I say, if you don't want me to react to that one there too, you just left it down below in the comment section. You see me I say, move forward. Tyson.
Calvin Lee, aka Tyson 6 boss. He is the leader of the infamous Trinidad branch of the 6 gang. The 6 gang at first had its roots in the Rasta City gang, and during a bitter power struggle there was a...
Hold on, where dog name? In call out the dog, full government name, you know.
He is the leader of the infamous Trinidad branch of the 6 gang. Calvin Lee, aka Tyson 6 boss.
Calvin Lee.
He is the leader of the infamous Trinidad branch of the 6 gang. The 6 gang at first had its roots in the Rasta City gang, and during a bitter power struggle there was a split, and the 6 emerged, having its major influence from an evil dancehall artist named Squash and a young, hungry Trinidad artist named Rebel 6. Tyson. He was a complex figure, always in and out of prison. His road to top boss wasn't an easy one. And after many unsuccessful attempts on his life, some say it's the result of supernatural causes, which the locals call Obia guarding him. In his early life, he grew up a troubled youth. After he dropped out of school, he gravitated...
What I want to know is, where them dog get all of them information here from? You see me I say? Who give them all of them information here? What them know about? Say dog was a troubled child and all them kind of thing. And if you talk to people around him or somebody will know him or... You see what I say? Move forward.
To the cold, hard street, somewhere he felt accepted. First under the G-City gang boss at the time Dole, he was promoted to a lesser head of the St. Paul branch of the gang. But back then, due to his short, skinny stature, to more bigger-sized bosses his grip was relatively small. But he was a heartless killer. And he murdered his way to the top. Back then, his first major enemies were the John sect of the Muslim gang, who lived on the hills above them, often shooting their high-powered rifles downhill, raining bullets on their G-City enemies. Tyson was known for his...
So what am I trying to say? The Squash and Rebel 6 make 6 popular, famous. You see me I say, because I think the first set of 6 them in Trinidad there was Rebel. Yeah. Move forward.
Skill of sharp shooting, often sniping enemies from the roofs of his St. Paul Street building. But he was never a stranger to the law. He was held with a string of offenses ranging from car thief to murder, but nothing ever stuck. His knowledge of the streets made him a hard target for law enforcement and criminals alike. But although he was loyal to his G-City bosses, Tyson always had a disliking from the cult, and knew to himself he was never religious, and wanted to represent something more evil and gruesome. Then came along a young, hungry Trinidad artist named Rebel 6.
Rebel.
He grew up miles from Port of Spain in a place called Bon Air Gardens. Same as Tyson, he grew up a troubled youth, gravitated to Tyson and Rebel, seeing the easy rise of his friend Prince Swan.
Why am I say yo Rebel grew up as a troubled youth? Because if everybody we talk about Rebel 6, say yo he was a calm jovial youth. The only thing Rebel 6 like to do is run him mouth. He like to run up him mouth on the media. Well, that's what them say. And not what me say, and what them say. That's why him get to him get. You see me I say? Because them say, yo, dog chat too much, run up him mouth too much. Ray. You see me I say? No forward.
In the Trinidad dancehall scene, followed in his footsteps by calling known gang bosses' names in the intro of their music. Rebel's first hit track, named St. Paul Street, grew a following. Even the then lesser boss Tyson had his eye on him. One night, after a performance in a St. Paul Street party, Rebel was introduced to Tyson, and seeing the potential, he chose to bring Rebel under his wing and invest in him. And with that strong backing, Rebel 6 ascended to Trinidad royalty, taking Tyson's name with him. But with more fame brings more power, and more power brings more enemies.
That is
Tyson, seeing the fast-growing trend of the Six, accepted the throne. And with a visit by their influencer, Squash, ties were rekindled and the Six gang was born. Word got wind of the ever-growing Six cult taking over Trinidad, and Prezi got the new...
So what must say? A Squash link with Tyson in Trinidad, yeah? After them realize Rebel 6 is a talented artist, after them realize, yo, this a dog I can do a Squash I do a Jamaica. You see me I say? Bring in the money and through the music and give the gang more exposure. We don't know. That the dog I say? Move forward.
But after learning the meaning of what the Six represented, Prezi rejected the idea and sent a brutal message to all who accepted it, starting with its head, Tyson, the first attempt on his life. He went to collect drugs in Couva, South Trinidad, and was ambushed.
Come used to live Couva, you know, people. Couva South? Come say Couva South, Couva no Central. Wanna make me know down below in the comment section, Couva South or Central? Move forward.
One of his shooters was killed, but he escaped with his life unscathed. Nobody knew who sent the hit, but it was a clear one. Then Rebel went to social media insulting Prezi's artist at the time, Prince Swanee. The word quickly got out that a war was brewing, and a major split within the Rasta City gang was taking place. The year 2019 had the highest murder rate of all time in Trinidad's history, and it was a direct result of this split.
Before the COVID.
Many major figures at this time was killed, clearing the way for Tyson and his Six gang to take control of turf in major areas. It was only when Commissioner of Police Gary Griffith intervened, a peace treaty was formed. Every gang leader accepted it at this time, and the only one who didn't was Rebel 6. So as a result...
Yeah, remember that when everybody did come together to talk about peace treaty, this is when Rebel went live on Instagram and start him rant and say, yo, we don't want no peace, da 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 da. You see me I say? And all them kind of thing there. That him I go tell you now. Say, so comes him lose him life. You see me? No forward.
He was murdered at his Bon Air home at the wee hours of the morning by unknown gunmen.
Unknown.
The hit was flawless, and up to this day no one was charged. Tyson, fearing an all-out war, became silent on the situation. Although he knew Rebel's fate, he grew depressed and more in the shadows. During the time of peace between the gangs, the murder rate plummeted, becoming the lowest in decades, and each side held their own. But after the deadly COVID pandemic, the major drug blocks reopened, and there was a scramble for turf. The Six gang then joined sides with ABG, and together they declared war on the Seven, after a murder attempt on an ABG.
Kalanji. They say Kalanji and Bridget. That's when them go for kill Kalanji, you know, people. And Bridget, rest in peace, and get it. Kalanji did hospitalize. Get one of them biggest hit song them out of it. You see me I say? Forward.
Artist named Kalonji, Prezi, always known for his speedy reprisals, made another attempt on Tyson's life, this time on the Sea Lots Highway, ambushing his car, but he miraculously escaped. After this attempt, law enforcement detained him for being a gang leader and other petty offense, just to keep the war from escalating. After a 6-month stay in prison, Tyson came out a more wise man. He strayed less, and to Tyson's surprise, Prezi's top artist Prince Swanee switched side and declared his allegiance to the Six. And to Tyson's
Swanee switch side, you know. Man, them call Swanee, Swanee is our. But them call people a switch side, a traitor. Traitor, we not call Swanee. But no, on forward.
He held a stage show in his area of St. Paul and invited Swanee to performance, assuring his safety from Prezi's goons. With that, Prezi was infuriated. Knowing how much he invested in Prince Swanee, he seized his car and house and gave it to then a lesser-known figure named Plumpy Boss. With the right...
The dog have some fox in it. Dog have some fox. You know what matter about, because that's true. Because Prezi did give Swanee a mansion. You see me I say? I don't know about the car part. I know about the mansion part. You see me? Because even Plumpy did sing it in a song, say him have a dog mansion and a big girl him having a pan dog bed and all kind of thing. You see me? Go forward.
Rising power of the Six Gang, the Trinidad movement. There were a lot of imitation rebels coming out. The one who stands out the most was an artist who goes by the name K-Man 6. He garnered attention when he sang a diss track for Prezi, to the delight of Tyson and his 6 gang members.
So well on. You must left out some information, you know. Because before you go to K-Man, you have to touch upon Wakodan. You see me I say? You have to touch upon Wakodan, because remember say, nobody knew who K-Man 6 was until Wakodan play the diss track upon him live. So comes them kill Wakodan, you know. You see me I say, you know, correct me if I'm wrong down in the comment section, even though I know I'm not wrong. You see me? Go forward.
But unknowing to them, that would be the last diss track they would ever sing. Prezi's shooters worked fast, but they couldn't kill K-Man 6.
Kind of fast.
Just like his boss Tyson. They both went for a guard spell by an old Obeah woman, who they paid by sacrifice.
What do you talk about guard spell and all them kind of thing, brother? They but say the reason why them can't kill Tyson or K-Man 6 is because them go by this Obeah man or Obeah woman or whatever gender the person be or whatever the person be. You see what I say? And that's why them can't kill them. I want to them money on their witchcraft thing. Go forward.
The blood of their friends and generations to come, just for the chance to zest another day. Tyson and K-Man 6 remains hiding in the shadows, but their rise to fame will never.
She say I got the flavor, yeah. I love bad bitches but don't have behavior. Plus I got the paper,
well,
yeah. I need that now. I don't have time for later. Yeah, I got the flavor, yeah. And I got the paper, yeah. Don't care about the haters. No way.
That is it. Make me know if you don't want me react to the one about Prezi. You see me I say? It's a boy the prodigy. I'm out.